friends. Welcome to Once Upon an Upside. I'm your host, Kaycee, and today I have Jess and Cami, and we will be talking about this month's or August's movie, The Engagement Plot. And we just loved it so much, so we felt like it needed its own recap. So, hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, guys. I thought it would be appropriate, seeing who the executive producer was, to wear my When Calls the Heart cap. And Jess was very witty to point out that I am the interrupted kiss.
Ooh, okay. Do we need to come up with something for next drama with you and like Trevor Donovan that time, for something,
All right, you two, back up. That's enough.
Well, it's funny because we have a bunch of connections, personal connections to the engagement plot. So first, our friend Jacqueline Collier, aka Jax from the Bubbly Sesh, and now she's part of our little club here. She is in it as Carly, the best friend. Mm-hmm. And then Cami, you did a quick little interview with Trevor Donovan at Rama Drama. Do you want to tell them a little bit about your interaction with him?
Yeah, go find it on Hallmarky's podcast on Instagram. So it it was really funny because it was like that, and so was my selfie with him. I had to run to do another event, and so I walk up, I hand my ticket in and say, "Hi, I'm Cami. We met yesterday, but I've got to go and do another event. So, okay, all right, thank you, bye." and then when I saw him on the last day, on Sunday, for the interview, they didn't tell me the correct room, so I went to the media room, and then I texted Rachel, the girl who was in charge of all the interviews, and she said, he's upstairs in the meet and greet. I'm like, okay, coming. So ran up there, caught my breath for a second, walked in. I said, hi, and he said, did you make it to your event that you were hosting? I was like, you remembered? Yes, I did. So yeah, really, really funny, really great guy. We just sat down for a second, and he was very sweet and playful, and we had a great time talking.
Fun. Jess, did you get to interact with Trevor at all?
Only when we got quickly introduced to him and Ryan before we did the panel. That was it.
Yeah, we were kind of hanging out backstage together. So.
Yeah, we were all five of us were just standing there kind of awkwardly because they were going to, Ryan, Pavey, and Trevor were opening Rama Drama. And so I'm like, I'm just going to shoot my shot because this is weird. Like, we're just standing here kind of like side-eyeing each other. Like, are we supposed to know you? Are you supposed to know us? Like, what's going on here? So I'm like, hey, I'm Kaycee. And Trevor's like, I'm Trevor. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Great movies. What do you say? But he and Ryan were very delightful.
Yeah, they were cool.
Very delightful. Other connections, Brian Bird, as you had referenced, executive produced this, and fun fact, his son Taylor wrote this movie, and it is actually based off of a book, which
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, it's based off of a book. I kind of want to read it just because I love seeing the differences between books and movies, but yeah, I thought that was kind of a fun little fact. I think from what I read, Taylor had said somewhere, I think maybe on his Instagram, that his father had kind of pitched the idea of him writing this script.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I thought he did a pretty stellar job, if you don't mind me saying that.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Actually, Kaycee, there are several father-son duos who worked on this project.
No, do tell.
Yeah. So Brian Bird took a picture of everybody, of all of them, and posted it on his Instagram. So there are 3 father and son teams and they were at the core of making this film. So we had Brian and his son Taylor as executive producer and screenwriter. And then we had the cinematographer Jeffrey Clark and his sons, director Brandon Clark and assistant cameraman Cameron Clark, and then executive producer Larry Douglas and his cameraman son Chris.
Fun.
So nice.
So Brandon Clark was part of a father-son trio. There were 3 of them in that family.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, that's so awesome, though. I mean, it's a family affair.
Mm-hmm.
He says the apples don't fall far from the trees.
That's super fun. And also Brandon Clark was at Rama Drama too. I did not get a chance to meet him.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to interact with him at all, sadly, but he was there.
Yeah.
He was there.
Hopefully next time.
Yeah, so we can say, dude, that was an awesome movie.
Yes, let's get into this movie, shall we? All right, the engagement plot aired obviously on UpTV, and this is the plot of the engagement plot. After getting her heart broken on The Price of Love, a wildly popular dating reality show that matches 20-something female contestants with a young, financially successful bachelor, teacher Hannah Knight has returned to her small-town Colorado life and moved on to bigger and better things. Or so we thought. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know about the bigger and better things. She hasn't really moved on to bigger and better things.
She's returned to her normal things.
Kind of comes with the plot, you know.
So, really quickly before we dive into all of our feels and gushing, maybe we'll see. Jess.
Yes.
Quick thoughts about your feelings on this movie. Rapid fire. How did you feel?
I thought the movie needed to be longer.
Really?
Which I don't normally say about a movie. And it actually makes sense now that you told me it was based off a book, because I remember thinking like, wow, they are trying to pack a lot into this movie and they did a wonderful job with it. But I'm like, I think I still could have used another 30 minutes. I think we could have really continued to dive into some of those things.
Jess wanted a mini series. or a 2-parter or something.
Yeah, it totally could have been like a little mini series. But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was really great. You know, this aired on UpTV with Hallmark actors, or actors who are typically in Hallmark films. But I didn't really feel like it fit the typical Hallmark or UpTV movie. It felt very fresh and original, while still kind of being within that rom-com trope. And I liked that it was a little plucky and had some fun humor and like pop culture references. So I really liked it.
Cami?
I adored it. I could say ditto to everything that Jess said. I really liked that it was different. My impression was that the whole movie was going to be the show. I thought that's how it was going to be. And so when the row of medallions gets smaller and smaller, and we're at the end of the show and it's 15 minutes into the movie, I went, wait, hold it. Whoa, what? So it was very different and it was very unexpected. And like she said, it felt very fresh and it felt new, and it didn't feel like we were just sitting down to watch another movie. This was definitely something special.
Yeah.
I believe the word I used when I watched it with the 3 of you was enchanting. I thought it was enchanting.
Oh, yes, you did. You did mention that. Enchanting. I too agree with you both. I watched this multiple times. That's saying a lot. I usually don't have time to watch a movie multiple times, even if it's a movie I love, and especially not in a very short time period. But I adored this movie. I'm with you, Jess. I agree. I didn't feel like it didn't really fall under UpTV vibes. It didn't really feel like it was Hallmark vibes either. It just kind of stood on its own. And like you said, it was fresh. The dialogue was great. The pop culture references were fun, and even the little cameos. So for example, if you are a Hardy and if you are familiar with Father Randy, he makes a cameo in the end. And then if you look really closely, and Jax had to tell us exactly where, but
I found them
Brian,
though.
I did too. Yes,
Yeah.
Brian and Patty Bird are in the hotel lobby when they walk in and they're talking to the assistant or whatever.
He's one of the board members.
Yes, the board member. Yes, thank you. And so I too, I found them too. So I was like, oh, okay. And apparently there are lots of other little fans out there. So, you know, if you are in the Hardy fandom, this would be a good movie to watch and kind of, where's Waldo? Where's Hardy?
Waldo.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
All right. So first things first, since we all love this movie, let us commence the gushing. So, who would like to share one of their favorite moments? I'll allow two.
I would like to start because we know that I am the prime gusher, so I think I should do the honors.
Take it away.
My favorite part that
Let her have her moment.
Right.
My favorite part that I would love to gush over is I absolutely loved the close-up of Trevor Donovan's foot.
You're fired.
Oh, it made me laugh so hard. But I will be serious. I don't have a specific moment, but I just want to say that I thought that Rachel and Trevor did such a good job selling the chemistry, because I mentioned I thought it needed to be longer. And usually when I say that, it's because the movie isn't working. But in this case, the movie still worked, even though I thought it needed a little, I think it still needed more time. They really sold those emotions so well that I didn't even care that I still wanted 30 more minutes of this movie. They made me believe it.
Yeah. Was there a specific moment that made you go, wow, these two have a lot of chemistry? Because it was kind of, so for me, the beginning part, we don't really see a lot. There's like a little bit of spark there when Hannah and Will meet. But you don't really see a lot because it's like they're squeezing a whole season of The Price of Love into 30 minutes. And so you kind of have to build it up. So for me, I was like, okay. Like, cool. I think for me, like what kind of tipped me off is their reactions when they saw each other for the first time after the breakup. And then from there, it just started building.
When he's filthy from head to toe.
And she says, no.
That's what she says the first 2 times she sees him after.
Yeah, I honestly don't know if there was a specific moment, chemistry wise. I think for me, it was because, the people directing and running this movie, they allow them to be emotional. Because we have the joke from Jen Lilly that there's no tears allowed in Hallmark. And this movie had some tears. And I think that, allowing actors to play some of those bigger emotions is what really can sell that they're like, they belong together. So I don't have a specific moment, but I think it's because they were allowed to dive into some of those emotions a little deeper than we typically see in these movies that want to be a little more lighthearted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. They did a good balance. Like, you weren't sobbing the entire time. You weren't angry the entire time. You weren't frustrated at the characters miscommunicating. It was like you said, the emotions were very well done. Cammie?
Oof. Okay, well, this wasn't my favorite moment, but this was a moment that got me. It was when Hannah called her father daddy. That, oh man, that that I called my dad daddy until the day he died. I just, that's a very big term of endearment. And so you have a very emotional scene between father and daughter, and you feel the love coming off of the dad, and you hear, I'm going to support you. I am here. I am right behind you, whatever you need. And then she says, thank you for being my daddy. I was like, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And so this is going to sound very, very cliche, but I don't care. I loved the proposal. The real proposal. I really, really loved it because he got her the ring that she had been admiring.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell one thing that she says in the show when they're interviewing her is that he listens to her. And so the proposal is a culmination of how many times he listened. And it was just very sincere. It was very beautiful. You could tell with all of the callbacks that he brought up that he had listened, and he bought her the ring that she wanted, not the ring that would be the most showy. And yeah, and after everything that they had been through, breaking up on national television and then breaking up again on national television. Just how many times can you take this? So for her, it's this culmination of she is trusting him again, and he is giving his full heart now. And then yeah, I just thought it was beautiful.
Yeah. The father-daughter storyline in this movie was pretty solid.
Oh my gosh. Solid is one word for it.
I mean, going off of what Jess said, the emotions played between father and daughter, like the dad was trying to protect Hannah from knowing all of the financial problems. Hannah was trying to protect her father from going into more debt, but didn't want to, I don't know, hurt his pride or be told, no, I'm God, it's good, it's fine, blah blah. And I think the moment at the end where Hannah has her big speech, that was a solid moment for me. I mean, wow. Okay, Rachel Boston, she's a masterful emotional actor. I mean, you really feel
Amen.
it. You really, really feel like just her and the weight of that character in that moment, and how disappointed she is in herself for going along with the whole fake engagement with Will. And then she's upset at the fact that she's brought her family into this. Now she's brought his family into this, and all of these things. And I love that speech at the end. It was very it was kind of deep for a rom-com movie.
Well, and then you remember what Jax told us. That was one of, or the first scene that they filmed as a group. So I don't think it was Rachel's very first scene, but it was one of them. So you take this very emotional scene from the end of the film and you film it at the beginning of filming, and yeah, she did a masterful job at that. That speech was, whew,
Yes.
that's a very technical term.
Woo!
Yes,
Woo!
very much
Webster's. So, did you all have any LOL moments? Laugh
Oh,
out loud.
tons of them.
Laugh out loud made you cry. Apparently, for Jess, it's the foot.
It was. I literally had tears in my eyes.
She really did.
From
We watched
laughing.
it together.
She did.
Because it was so unexpected. Like, as I said, this movie is a little different. It was kind of plucky and quirky, and I loved that about it.
Anytime the driver Leo was on the
Yes.
screen, I was
Oh, yes.
dying.
He
was
had
hilarious.
some classic lines.
Oh my gosh. And I mean, the very first 2 minutes of the movie, you just go, okay, he's that guy. No one's braver than you, my man. I know. I was just being modest. I'm like, oh, we're in for a ride, people. And then, like Jess was saying, the pop culture, I don't know if he improv that or if Taylor wrote them, but whoever, it was brilliant. Harry and Meghan are eating lunch down the street. Go follow them, huh?
Yeah, they mentioned
Justin Bieber has a trash can you can go through.
Kim and Kanye were mentioned too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's funny.
Super funny.
anytime he was on the screen, I was dying.
Yeah. Yeah. And when he said to Will something about, and what are your intentions with Hannah? He's like, what are you, her dad? And I loved how Leo called Will out, and just the fact that he was like, you broke the heart of America's sweetheart, you idiot. Like, I've now gone from your driver to kind of a friend / I'm really mad, a really mad fan. So
He's a student of human nature.
there you go. There you go. Yeah, there were lots of laugh out loud moments. I personally also have to give a shout out to Jax. She had some pretty classic lines and pretty classic faces. My favorite part that lives rent free in my head is when Jax's character Carly says he should live with the fishes or something like that. I made a
He
gif
deserves to sleep with the
with the
fishes.
fishes.
She practically looks at the camera too, so you're like, easy.
Oh, and when she refers to a female monk as a monkhead.
Monkhead.
Oh, one moment that I just died laughing is when they cut from Hannah talking to Will's mother, and they just cut to Hannah in a wedding dress and Carly standing next to her, and they're both just going, oh my.
Yes.
What have we gotten ourselves into?
It was so unexpected because they said they had a surprise for Hannah, but I never in a million years dreamed that the surprise was going wedding dress shopping, and I just died.
Right. And like, it kind of makes sense if if Will's parents were fans, like they were watching the show, so you get to know all of the girls. Of course, they're gonna have a favorite.
Of course.
And so of course they're also going to know more about Hannah because, in those reality TV shows, they always pull on the emotions with the backstory. Like, for example, my mother died when I was young, and my father and I have a small business, blah, blah, blah. And then you just feel for them. And so for her parents, I'm sure for mom was thinking, oh, this poor Hannah, we just love her so much, but she has no mother to take her wedding dress shopping. And so
hey, it fits.
It totally fits. It totally fits. Yeah. But that scene was classic.
Oh my gosh. And how it just cut to it. There was no transition. It just boom.
Oh, so fun. So fun. Well, any other thoughts about this movie? Actually, before we get there, I have another question. Because this is we like to gush. We also like to, maybe there are some cringy moments. So was there any moment that made you cringe, even just a tiny bit?
Just Kaycee and her 100,000 plus followers.
3 million followers.
3 million followers.
Million, excuse me.
3 million.
Excuse me. Clearly I didn't listen to her say it.
But you know what was really good about that? I love the fact that whenever she said it, the cinematography changed through the lens of the camera.
Yep.
I love that moment. Every time they did it, and then it was brilliant. And when Trevor or Will and Kaycee are going at it, and he looks at the camera, and he's
like, when he looks right at the camera.
The other candidates, like Cat, meow, I was like, oh. And then I can't remember what her name was, but she was the one with the really long blonde hair, and she shook his hand and she's like, I'll see you later. I'm like, oh gosh, no.
Yes. Very.
But I think we were supposed to.
Yes.
We were supposed to cringe.
Yes. And I mean, it's a parody off of The Bachelor. So like The Bachelor ladies or men, they do these really interesting introductions. Like one girl one year walked in a wedding dress and a fake baby bump.
Are you kidding me?
And then another one unicycled in. We can go on. I mean, there have been some very interesting introductions. So, I mean, cat meowing at will. That's pretty tame.
That's tame. And here I was going to comment on how I loved the shot of their hands domino affecting up the banister. That's what I was going to comment on. Never mind.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I think I can't think. I mean, besides those two, I didn't have any other moments where I cringed. Yeah, it was just fun. I mean, if I did cringe, it was a character thing, not a story thing. Like you guys said, like meowing.
Hey, this is Jen Johans, host of the podcast Watch with Jen, which delivers a steady stream of great movie recommendations, thoughtful career deep dives, and first-rate conversations with film critics, authors, actors, journalists, filmmakers, and more. You can find Watch with Jen wherever you get your podcasts or hear us first at our Patreon at patreon.com/filmintuition.
All right. Well, any other thoughts before we wrap this up?
I found it very interesting that Trevor had top billing.
Oh, yes.
That's another breakaway from your typical rom-com. Mm-hmm. Usually, at least the Hallmark Channel and UpTV, it's usually the woman who gets the top billing, and Trevor got top billing. I thought, that is very interesting to me. I thought I had no problem with it. I thought it was very well deserved. He did a fabulous job in this movie. Mm-hmm. It was just interesting. I'm like,
yeah,
kind of glad they did that. Make it different,
Yeah.
I just wanted to add too, I really appreciated that this movie had a faith component, and they really made it part of her character. Like, she stayed true to like what they were saying that she believed. And I like too that it was, it was there for people who want that kind of faith aspect, but not so in your face that if, that's not your thing, it wouldn't like hurt. Like, you could still watch the movie and not feel overburdened by it. So
if I may comment on that, when they're getting ambushed outside the hotel and they're in the car and Will says, no, just drive us to my condo. And she goes, excuse me. I wrote it down because I loved it. I may be selling my soul for this ruse, but I'm not chucking my moral code too. I was like, yeah, girl.
Yeah. Or even like with, the big reveal, it's all kind of fake. Because at first I was like, I don't know, like this whole fake engagement, it seems like a little out of character for someone who's religious. But then like when she's asked like or outed point blank by Kaycee, like she straight up comes clean, and I'm like, okay, yep, I really appreciated that, because I'm like that to me rings true for someone who's supposed to be a faith-based person. So
yeah, but I think also her motive was not it wasn't for fame that time. I mean, not that it was for fame at all, but when she was gonna flat out said no until she saw the overdue bills from her father's store. And so I think because she and Will had already built a relationship, and because he pitched it to her and he was like, hey, listen, we will give you anything you want, anything, just go along with it, save my company, and I will pay you off, essentially. Yeah. I think for me it worked because I feel like, religious or not, if you're set in that situation and you're given that and you have a mutual agreement and you're not trying to, burn somebody and they're not trying to pull one over you, and you understand it's more of a business transaction in a sense, like, yeah, I mean, I totally understood the why behind her going along with it. Any other reason, it would have been a little out of character, I think, because it's a little manipulative, but I think because her motives are so pure, it worked. And I did like the fact that she was a person of faith, but it wasn't super like in your face. Like, that's just who she was. And it's very reminiscent of how Martha Williamson writes Signed, Sealed, Delivered. Oliver is a man of faith, but he's not like preaching at everybody. He's not like, in your face about it, but he just lives it out in his character. And I think they did a really good job bringing that over to the engagement plot too.
Yeah. The other aspect of her character that I really, really enjoyed, because at first when I was watching it, I said, she would not do this. This beautiful, wholesome girl who is so linked to family, she would not sign up for this. And then when Carly says, aren't you glad I signed you up? Like, okay, yeah, that makes a whole lot more sense.
Yeah,
I was really glad they added that in, because it just added to the verification that she was who we thought she was.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And even when Hannah walks in for the first time and meets Will, even Hannah's like, I don't even really know what I'm doing here. I don't really want to be here.
I'm awkward.
Like, what? So yeah, no, they just, I mean, all the pieces were just laid out really well. There were no questions at least in my mind. I didn't walk away going, huh?
Yeah. No, me neither.
So, all right, time to rate the movie. And we do 10 star scale, right?
We do.
Okay.
Jess, I'm ready this time.
All right.
Well, why don't you go first?
Oh gosh.
Unagi.
I'm giving it a 9.5.
Very nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
A top rating.
Yeah, really. I mean, there were just a couple of little moments that I was like, yeah, no, when I don't care for that, but obviously not enough. There, I went first.
Jess?
I give it a 9. Yeah, I really liked it. I really believe
my ears deceive me? What?
No, I really liked it. I mean, everything I've already said, they really sold their relationship to me. And I liked all the funny aspects, and yeah, it was just a really well done movie. Like I said before, my only critique is I thought it needed to be longer. We had the during reality show and then after reality show, and I just felt like they packed so much into those 2 segments. They felt a little rushed. But yeah, you only get 90 minutes, so I thought they did a really good job with what they had.
All
right. I'm just gonna give this a solid 10.
Whoa. Solid 10 is a perfect 10.
Solid, perfect score. Congratulations. The engagement plot on UpTV. I don't think I've ever given an UpTV a movie that high of a scoring. And
somebody called Brian.
I'm giving that score because, number one, I watched it multiple times in a very short period, which I don't have time in my life to do unless I really, really, really want to. And number two, I was debating like 9, 10, and then I realized, this is a movie I would actually buy. Like, I would buy it,
Yeah.
and I would, it'd be one of those ones to kind of watch on a Friday night, curled up on the couch. And, you know, it's one that I would totally want my girls to watch with me when they're older. Like, it's just such a fun, clean, good-natured kind of movie. And I really love this movie. And it also helps that we know several people associated with it too, which
we're
makes
not
it
just
even
rating it high
better.
because we know those people. We genuinely we're being genuine about these ratings.
Yes,
but it does help.
Well, it just makes it like
It's more fun to watch.
Jack, like, yeah, it makes it more fun to watch, like knowing Jax, and meeting her in person, and then seeing her on the screen, and you're like, oh, that's I mean, these are just like added like bonus points. Like, fine, 10.5 out of 10. Okay, we'll go there. We'll give them the extra 0.5. But no, I really enjoyed this movie. I think this is a good one. This is an absolutely good one. And before we absolutely have to wrap this up, we do have an announcement to make. Get out the tissues and get out the mops. But Carrie, who is not able to join us for this recap, but Carrie, Cammie, Jess, and I, we have a lot of things going on in life, and it's now time for us to take a break from UpTV. And it's been a fun time getting to watch these movies, recap them with you guys.
What a movie to end on, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Ending it on a high note. I don't want to say that Once Upon an Upside will be gone forever, because Hallmarkies podcast has like a million different
hosts.
That's the word I'm looking for. And so somebody may pick it up, or who knows, maybe in a future season we may be back as guests. But we just wanted to let you guys know that we're taking a break from it. No date on when it will come back or if it will come back, but we just wanted to throw it out there. And thank you so much for listening to Once Upon an Upside. It's been a great honor being part of this little segment.
No, it's been a whole lot of fun, and I'm really, really glad that we've been able to do it, and it gives us an excuse to, be together. But like I said, I can't think of a better film to end this on. So I'm really, really glad that we did this last one. And who knows what'll happen in the future, but for right now, it's gonna be time to put this aside. So
yeah. But yes, thank you all so much for those who have listened, who have made comments and chatted with us about these movies. We really do appreciate you listening and your support. And we know we'll still see you on all the social media chatting about other movies as well. So
#Hannah's
we'll
night.
be around. We're not, we're not disappearing.
No, we're not disappearing. We're just disappearing from this. So.
Just a little. We're taking a break. All right. Well, where can people find you guys on the social medias? Cammie?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Cammie Drama Girl, and also at Deliver Me a Podcast and at Hardy's Hotline. You can find the three of us on Deliver Me a Podcast as well.
Yes, and you can find me at Jess BSW Blog on Twitter and Instagram.
And you can find me at Kaycee__Simpson on Twitter and on Instagram, and along with Deliver Me a Podcast. And we're also on the Hallmarkies podcast. And you know what to do. Follow Hallmarkies, buy the merch, join the Patreon, make some comments, leave a rating and review. And that is it. So have a wonderful fall season. Enjoy the engagement plot and all the rest of the movies, and we will see you all somewhere, sometime soon. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.